Welcome to Highlight Worksheet lesson number 28. And to start off, we're using the frequency table to answer these questions. So, looking at number one, it asks how many more students chose basketball than baseball. So, simply, all we have to do is just look at the table and subtract. So, see, we're trying to find how many more students chose basketball to baseball. So, we know that 26 students chose basketball. And we know for baseball, only 17 chose it. So all we have to do is subtract, which gets us 9. So we know that nine more students chose basketball over baseball. Number 2, which sport did the greatest number of students choose? Well, we just have to use our eyes and see that, well, 30 is the greatest number, and that's swimming. So we know that number 2 is swimming. And for number 3, we have how many students answered this survey. So we gotta add up all these numbers together to get our number. So let's go from the bottom. Let's do 30 plus 21. That gets us 51. 51 plus 17. That gets us 68. 68 plus 15 is equal to 3, carry the 1, 83. And 83 plus 15 is equal to 98. So our final answer is 98 students. For this next part, we're using another table, and number one asks how many pictures are in the art show in all. So that's basically asking us to, well, add up every single value. So let's add up every single value. For people, we can add up all these. We can go 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 8 is 16, plus 1 is 17, so 17 right here. 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 4 is 13, plus 3 is 16, so we have 16 right here. And last one, 6 plus 8 is 8, plus 9 is 17, and 17 plus 5 is 22. So now we can add these all up. 7 plus 6, 13, plus 2 is 15, so we put a 5 right here, carry the 1 over. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So number 1 is 55 pictures. Number 2, which is the subject of the greatest number of pictures in the art show? People, animals, or plants? Well, coincidentally, we already answered that, as we already added up all the numbers of each subject, and we know that plants has 22, which is the greatest. So number 2 is plants. And number 3, there are 12 possible categories of pictures in the art show. Which one was represented least? Well, since we know our numbers and the order of what our numbers are, we know that 1 is the smallest number. So that's pencil. For this next part, we're going to find the mode and the range. And in case you don't know what the mode and range are, here explains it up here. And the mode is basically add a number in a range, or the number in the, looking at a set of data, the mode is the number that appears the most. And in our example, we see that 4 appears 3 times, which is the most, meaning it's the mode. The range is simply just the greatest number in the data set minus the smallest number in the data set. And as we see here, our example says 30 is the greatest and 23 is the smallest, so we just subtract them and we get 7 as our range. So looking at number 1, we have what is the range and mode for this data, and we can just look at, let's find our mode first. So mode basically, as we remember, is the one that appears the most, and we see that 53 has the most students, so that is our mode. 53 is equal to our mode. And to find our range, we have to subtract the greatest from the least. And we know that 55 is our greatest, and we know that 49 is our least. So we just have to subtract, and we get 6 as our range. Number 2 asks how many students are 50 inches tall, and we see that 1, 2, 3 students are 50 inches tall. Lastly, for our word problems, number 1 says Katie has 21 stuffed animals. She wants to put an equal amount on each of 3 shelves. How many animals will she put on each shelf? So, you think about this problem, we just want to know, we know that she wants to organize her stuffed animals into 3 different shelves. So, what we have to do? Well, we know we have to do the division. So, 21 divided by 3. Well, this is basically we just have to basically find out what times 3 gets us 21. And if we know our times tables, we know that number is 7. So, number 1 is 7. Number 2, Arthur has 6 packages of stickers. Each package has 8 stickers. How many stickers does he have? This one's telling us he has 6 packages, and since each package has 8, that tells us we have to do 6 times 8. And if you know your times tables, then we know that 6 times 8 is just 48. So that's our answer.